Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brown Skin Blueprint. So today we have two guests with us. We have Marcus and we have Orion. So we are here to discuss what we call it: breakup to makeup, makeup breakup.
The friendship edition.
Breakup to makeup.
Friendship edition. And I wanted to talk about this because me and Shawana have often had the conversation about how nobody likes to talk about how difficult it is to either remove people from your life, or even if you have to start over and you guys make amends, that is not always as simple. It shouldn't be as simple as y'all just jumping back in where y'all left off. So we wanted to have this conversation, one, because it needs to be had, and two, I'm just tired of people getting on the internet acting like they cutting people off and moving on with their life and they don't have no feelings about it, because that is not true or accurate. So Shawana, did you want to add anything to the intro?
Not really. I was just gonna say we definitely gonna touch on just like the ups and downs of it, because I feel like in these situations it's never like okay, you just get to a point and then like it's done. I feel like there's so many waves until you just get to a point of like, I guess acceptance is a little bit easier, but just I know the turbulence is what gets on my goddamn nerves. So I know we definitely gonna talk about that here.
It be the acceptance for me. So I'm on the other area. That'd be the hardest part. I just be like, nah, that ain't happening. Like, that ain't go down like that. Like, it just didn't happen. Marcus or Orion, did y'all want to say anything to that before we go to the first bullet?
Let's get into this.
Oh, come on!
I told you I got something to get off my
Okay.
Gotta get it out.
All right. So we gonna go ahead and jump into it. So since we're talking about both sides of it, right? The breakup and the makeup, we're gonna start with the breakup so we can end on a high note. What have been reasons for you feeling like you had to walk away from a friendship, or feeling like, yeah, no, this ain't it? What experiences have you had that just put you to a point, like Shawana said, usually it's not cut or dry unless it's like betrayal, but what have been some things that kind of put you in a position to feel like, okay, I need to remove myself or remove this person from my life? And anybody can start.
I think for me, it's inconsistency. Betrayal, yes, that's definitely like something that's going to like definitely get you on like the X list. But when you're inconsistent and you come back and then you apologize, but then you do the same thing, it's like, okay, what? Like, come on now. Like, at that point, you know how people always say like it's toxic in relationships. You have toxic friendships. Toxic people are toxic people, period. And that's also a red flag. If you see they had issues within their relationships, and then they want to come to their friend and hey, what should I do? And I'm boohooing, I'm crying, but you still doing the same thing. I see the same thing. I'm gonna look at you like sideways, because when we be having our issues, even though it isn't like a relationship, it's friendship level, you're being toxic because you're still having that same inconsistency that you have within your everyday relationships with people.
Ooh,
agreed.
Oh, you went in.
I'm sorry. I just had like a.
Don't be sorry. For me, honestly, it would be principles. I'm big on principles. And I'm big on how I don't always expect people to treat me how I treat them, because I know it's different levels and everybody was raised different. I really didn't learn the term people were raised off of survival or people were raised off of love until I moved here. So after seeing some people are just used to using people and some people genuinely want to give you things, I had to decipher what type of person I was around. And not to say that the people who were built off survival, I couldn't be around them. I just had to know how to categorize you. But my problem when I first moved here is I was just nice to everybody. Everybody is unicorns and sunshine, and we just need to be friends. Girl, you want my shirt? You can have it. Like, and once I got to that point, I realized that I was doing for other people, and it was like a pit bull smelling fear. Like, oh, is she gonna do all of this for me? Oh, I'm gonna get this. And I noticed that our principles were completely different. And 10 times out of 10 in my situations, I give you chances before I cut you off. But when I cut you off, I will walk past you and act like I don't know you. Like, because it literally has to get there in order for it to happen. So for me, it's not even no guidebook or nothing. It's really just our principles are completely different. And it's simple stuff that you would think everybody was taught, but child, keep going, child. This gonna be a long night.
I felt that I'm gonna go next only because I just can remember us from high school, Orion. Like, I remember being in that same mode, just the rose petal glasses, like just like feeling like if I exude this, it's no way, you know, other people can't think like this or be manipulative in this way. So I think for me, it got to a point where if I feel like I done been vulnerable, number one, with you, like just completely, it takes strength and courage to be on like that fucking raw. And if I thought I could trust you in a way where I could be that way, and you know these depths about me, like, you know, like this is a trauma response for me, or you know that communicating in this way, I can't deal with it. It's and you know, it's not healthy. You know, I'm trying to grow. We're supposed to be on the same page together. And like, kind of like what Mark said, yet and still you keep doing the same things. And then you don't even, not even want to sit down and address the F shit. Like, you just want to brush up under the rug. That's when I got to say sorry. I can see Brittany over there like, I got to say sorry now, because what we not about to keep doing is acting like these fucking molehills of bullshit is sitting over here. And shit's sweet because it's not. Like, whole time it's an elephant in the room. It don't even have to be, because if you know anything about me, I'm the most, we can sit down and talk about anything. Anything. So for you to just get up.
Really is. I said you really are.
It's a slap in
You're
the fucking
very,
face.
very easy to talk to, no matter how difficult the subject is. I will, yeah.
I don't care where I go, y'all. People just talk to me. I just have an inviting spirit about me. So, for, like, nigga, anybody can talk to me. You don't want to talk, you're disrespectful. You got to get to it. There's nothing I can do.
You're done.
Sorry.
You're done.
You're done. So that's my just, you know, red flag.
I guess it's my turn. So for me, somebody leaving me hanging is like a big no-no. Like, I would rather you lie to me than for me to feel like I needed you and you were not there. And I say that because, like Orion said, I know I cannot expect people to move how I move, operate how I operate. I understand that. However, I feel like two people who have seen me appear at like some of my roughest and rawest times of my life, you know, if you call me and you need the shirt off my back, I'm still going to give it to you, even though I got stuff going on myself, kind of person I am. So I expect at least a degree of that return to me. You ain't got to go full out like I do, but I need a piece of that from you. So if I feel like you can't give that to me, and 9 times out of 10, like all of y'all have said, I'm not really the kind of person, like, I just cut people off, like, you know, I snap my fingers and I'm done. There are usually things said. There are usually, you know, I let you know I feel away, or I let you know I didn't appreciate how you did X, Y, Z. If there is no change after that, like, I don't really know what we doing or where this is going, because now I feel like you are choosing to not pay attention to what I say. There's one thing if, you know, I'm holding it in and you don't know, but if I'm communicating these things to you and nothing is happening, or you're still on that BS, now you're choosing to do what you do rather than, you know, you didn't know. Like, I'll give you that, because I understand people are not gonna see stuff how I see it. I get that. I'll give you that. You didn't know. All right, cool. But after I say something and it happens again, That's usually a problem for me because I just can't.
So how many times do you where's the threshold then? So if you told somebody once, right? What your expectations are, this made me feel this way. You didn't check yourself to like, okay, you know, how many, when you love somebody as close as like you call somebody your best friend, like this is your road dog, how many opportunities did we give them? Like where's the where do we put the boundaries in place?
Go ahead, Ryan. Got your hand.
For me, because I internalize a lot.
Me too.
And I internalize a lot because I don't want confrontation. And everybody can't deal with you having that conversation with them the same. But for me to speak up, and when I finally do say something and express to you how I feel, after I've said it that one time, because it took so much energy out of me to say it, and things still the same, you're done. You're out of here. You got to go because you didn't acknowledge my expressions changing before I even said anything. You didn't acknowledge the fact that I said something to you. And now it's like, okay, so why are you here? Like, you're holding no purpose. Your season is up. You got to go. That's just me.
To answer your question, if we're talking pre-30,
okay.
I would say that your chances probably lined up with the amount of time that you have been in my life. I am a person that I care very, very, very much about the people who have been around me, especially if you've been around me for an extended amount of time. I do not take things like that lightly. If I've known you for a shorter amount of time, you know, the relationship is kind of different. With that being said, prior to 30, because I see like my friends kind of like my family, like I would treat you how I would treat a family member pre-30. You know, shit happens. Like there are misunderstandings. I understand people's personality. Like, you know, as much as I love myself, I know I can be very annoying in different kinds of ways. I know that, you know, the fact that sometimes I can't hold shit in, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, you're going to know if I'm irritated. That is very annoying. That can be overbearing sometimes. I get that. So because I know people have to deal with me, my mindset was always, I have to deal with them and what they come with. So it's just kind of like, if I felt like, you know, you've been around forever, you're just my nigga, period. Like, you know, whatever it is, we just go fix it later. A lot of times, however, that has come at my expense of being uncomfortable, feeling like I'm not being heard, feeling like I couldn't share certain things because I noticed how people would react to certain things I said. So then it's like, I was almost willing to self-sacrifice for the sake of saying that I've known you for X amount of years. Current day, now that I am almost 32, I would say maybe 1 to 2 chances, depending upon the severity of the situation. And then I would just carry my ass. And especially now that I feel like I communicate a whole lot better than what I used to. I just don't, my tolerance has always kind of been low for chaos and dysfunction, but I feel like once I turn 30, this shit is kind of depleted. Like the little bit that was there is like gone. So now it's like I have even like a lower tolerance for just shit that does not make sense to me. So I feel like now that I'm older, I just don't really have it in me to keep having repeated conversations, same conversations, or for us to be on two opposite ends of the spectrum, not because of the situation, but because you just refuse to do anything other than what you know. So yeah, I just can't. I just cannot.
So to piggyback off of that, being a parent reminds you every day how much you cannot stand repeating yourself. I used to get mad. At myself because I was like, why does that piss me off so bad though? Why does repeating myself piss me off? Like, if you didn't comprehend, like trying to just rationalize my feelings, but I from listening to everybody and then just kind of like going into introspection, it's exhausting to keep
It is.
yourself.
It is.
So that's why I feel like when we get tired, like we be tired, like just tired. And I had to, my realization of understanding that I'm not even supposed to get that tired, that helped me stop like feeling like I would like run after people almost in a sense like, hey, come sit down and like try to make them talk. Ooh,
preaching to the choir.
Like, I can't even believe I used to do that shit.
Yes,
I can't even believe I used to do that shit.
It is so embarrassing. Like I was really out here doing that. Like when people talk to me, what? It's so embarrassing. Ew.
So like now, after 30, I feel like I need, this is like something I'm processing currently in therapy. I don't have a tolerance. If I get like an inkling of just, it's like, I'd be like, I'll just shut it down. I'll like automatically put you in a place where like, if I'm in the energy to deal with you, I'll deal with you. Like, I don't do the just straight cutting people off, but it's like, when I say distance, it's just, we don't have to talk. Like, we don't have to talk. And it's no bad blood. It's like, I have learned to stop attaching myself to like situations, if that makes sense, like just getting engulfed. So for me, I don't even know, I need to find a bottom, because right now it's just like I ain't even, you can't even get past a certain threshold because I'm not dealing with it, because it looks stupid, and if it looks stupid, it probably is. So that's how I be trying to carry everything.
Marcus, answer?
I think it's kind of the same boat like what you said. It depends on the person. It depends how long you've known them. Me, myself, I don't really like meeting new people, getting to know people, having, you know what I'm saying, making new friends, because like you said, it's very exhausting. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of energy to really give somebody that time to show you, you know, and especially like Orion was saying, you know, when people learn it or they can see they can take advantage of something, it kind of just puts like a pause on everything. So like Brittany said, me maybe like before 25, that was a rough time. I would say maybe like high school me, like I'm there, like we good, like we gonna work it out, we gonna get through it, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. But after that, no. Like you got, if I see something in you, you got at least 2 times. 2. And that just depends. But somebody else, yeah, no. You got like a one and done. It's out of there, because why? You know, and I think that comes to the fact, like, if they don't really know me and I don't really know them, what's the point? You know, some people aren't worth giving that and putting that commitment to, you know, but somebody that's really been there, like, yeah, I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? We can work through it. And even if I still don't like really agree with what you did or how you moving, I might just distance myself, like you said, but ain't, like you said, ain't no bad blood.
Right.
But yeah. Nah, you need to work yourself out. Let me grow too on my end, and then we'll see, you know what I'm saying, if we cross paths again.
Yeah. I think 2 is a good number.
I have a question.
Okay.
It's not in the bullets.
Okay.
But when Marcus said something about high school, I want to ask y'all this question. So I saw this tweet, and the tweet says, a lot of us don't know what healthy friendships look like. In high school, most of us ended up getting attached to shitty people, but we called them best friends. Did our parents even show us what healthy friendships look like? Their examples also project into our friendships. So I want to know, did anybody teach you like how to be a friend, or do you feel like it was even modeled for you, or do you feel like it was one of them things where you just kind of like, oh, this, you know, figure out your own shit, like, of what a friend is supposed to be like to you? Like, did anybody ever like go over like what friendship is
outside of what they said in school and elementary?
It's rough, because like I saw that being a good friend from my grandmother, because she has friends that it's like her friendships with like her certain friends are longer than me, you know what I'm saying? They've been friends since before I was born, and they're still friends, you know. But then at the aspect of my mother ain't got no friends. She'll talk to her sister. She'll, you know what I'm saying? She gonna talk to her, you know what I'm saying? And I remember her having certain friends, but then I've also seen how they just drifted apart. I never knew, because of course I was younger, but I remember my mother going to the club, but she only go to the club with Bernie. You know what I'm saying? When that stopped, I didn't see that. My mother stayed herself. So I saw 2 different aspects, but I was never Plus, you know, your mother be like, you ain't got no friends, I'm your friend. You know, oh, that ain't no friend, you ain't got no friends. So it was always interesting to see that, you know. So it's tough. It's tough how to navigate that.
Go ahead, Rain.
I guess my mama gonna watch this. I don't care. So, healthy friendships, no. And I'll say healthy because I don't watch y'all sit on the phone and gossip. My grandmother specifically, so she has long-term friendships, but your long-term friendships was built off y'all talking about the people at the church, or y'all telling me what the girl at the street had on and how her child is going through whatever. So by the time, you know, I went to college, high school, I would say I had great friendships in college. I mean, in high school. Mm-hmm. By the time I got to college, that was a whole nother level of people. Like, I'm going down there pure and innocent, and I'm meeting all of these people, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what friendship is at this point. I'm going to just stay by myself because it was literally just brutal that nobody taught me nothing. Like, I thought everybody, like I said in the beginning, I figured everybody was the same until you get someplace where, so I graduated in Virginia. I live in South Carolina. These people is totally different. It's a whole nother world, okay? So, like, when I moved down here, I realized it's a completely different, it's a different world. So I didn't learn nothing about friendships other than this is who I hang around. This is who I talk to about certain things, but actually understanding what a friendship really was, no, nobody taught me
that. So my mama is one of 11 and she's the oldest of 6 girls. Mm-hmm. So her friends are her sisters. And then, you know, she had her coworkers who, you know, they would talk on the phone, talk about people they work with, stuff they boss doing that, you know, ain't right or whatever. And I'm turning into my mama because I said I would never do that shit, but I talk about work after work. But she never had like friends she like hung out with. Like if she did stuff, she was with my aunts. And you know, navigating like family, especially like sisters and like your friends, like it's similar dynamics, but it's not the same. My daddy would talk to me about like his friendships, but you know, men are different. Like they may be friends after like you done hunt with it as girlfriends and like they don't be caring. Like they don't hold on to stuff. So he would, when I would get into situations, I feel like he would give me advice on what I should do. But I still felt like I was kind of just navigating it, like just about what I knew. And then we're also talking, me and my daddy had a 42-year age difference. So also these kind of people, like these real, like nice, genuine friends that he had, like I wasn't living in them times. So it's kind of like he would like guide me in the right direction, but then I would feel like, sir, like your advice is not applying to like these bitches today. Like that's not it, sir. Okay, like these are different kind of breed of people, okay?
Breed.
So I felt like, you know, I did get some direction, but a lot of times I felt like I was just kind of navigating, you know, the best that I knew. So I said that to say, there have been times I can admit that I have not been the best friend. I tried to be, but looking back at the age that I am now, there have been a lot of times I made some poor decisions of sometimes even picking friends. Like I'm just like, Brittany, you really used to hang with her? Like, okay. So even down to like choosing friends has not, you know, been a strong suit of mine. Things that I chose to internalize or take personally, you know, I've had errors in that also. So I said that to say, what are things that are forgivable for you? And what are things that you're just like, No, because I'm just saying, you know, we didn't have to ask for forgiveness, I'm sure, from other people. So what are things that you're willing to be like, okay, like we can talk and get over that versus like, no, you need to go ahead and kill your ass. So, since y'all cool, I got it. If you fuck my man, if you steal from me,
I already knew.
You anything about my husband, stealing from me, anything harming anybody that I love, those are like my big three that you need to forget it. Most of other stuff like misunderstandings, like I feel like we can kind of have a conversation. Anything that falls under just like betrayal and scandalous, and I feel like you do not care about me at all, that is kind of like okay, that is unforgivable. But I feel like if something is genuinely like a misunderstanding, I feel like it can be forgivable, but I also want to say forgiving does not necessarily mean that we gonna be how we used to be or that we even gonna be friends. So
caliber now.
I got mine. I had to remember because it's been a while since I've even had to go here. If you are the type of person who likes to say things that you don't mean when you get upset, I am not the person to do that with. Because I don't give a fuck how long you gonna eat them goddamn words. Don't tell me no shit you don't mean. Don't threaten me. Whew, y'all something wrong. Don't threaten me. And yeah, but like, because you malicious, you want to hurt me. Like I don't care anybody I've ever loved. I don't care how mad I got. The aggression in my voice might have altered, but me lashing out with words, like me trying to make you hurt. Never. I cannot say that I've ever just wanted to hurt somebody unless it was a situation like you hurt somebody I love. I want to kill, like wanting to murder somebody, that's something different. But I have a special place in the pit of wherever the darkness is in my body for people who like aggressive. Like I can't, and maybe God needs to heal me in this area, but I have no respect for people who do that. Like I just don't, especially I can deal with it and I'm not going to deal with it, but I can understand it more so if it was somebody who didn't express strong desires for me before. So like at one point you was in love with me, or at one point we was best friends, or at one point there was like a love and a bond. You can't tell me that you really love me and be able to say this to me. Like it's dead. So it's a lot of people that will never get to like experience my presence again because of that reason alone.
Period. Okay.
Nah, don't do it. Don't even come in my vicinity if you operate in that way because it's not going to work. Yeah.
I think for me, definitely if you steal from me, like, yeah, I can't trust you. Because trust, like, I can't be your friend if I don't trust you. Especially if you're going to take from me. When I'm a giving person, I will give it to you. Like, come on, don't steal from me. And if you tell my business, because first of all, I don't open up. And if I do open up and I trust you to open up and tell you certain things, and I found out you can't hold water and you running and telling my business, I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, I can't trust you. That's my 3.
That's on word.
I'm gonna be honest and say I've never had a friendship that like we rekindled. I've never had that. Like I'm
notorious for. Go ahead.
Like I don't know I think because a lot of my last straws, y'all probably be like, what? I didn't have somebody sleep with my man. I didn't had like listen. I said I had some stuff.
My guy got me on the polygamy journey. That might be why. Because I'm telling you,
like when I moved down here, it was completely different. Like I had somebody sleep with my man. I've had people steal from me inside of my home. I've been through all of that, and because if we have a disagreement, that's different. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna cut you off, because then we're mature enough to have that conversation. To be honest, I only have one close friend right now, and I'm okay with that because I know your energy, you know mine. But as far as like rekindled, I couldn't even tell you what can be salvageable because I ain't never did that before.
Yeah.
So like all of the worst, I don't know everything that happened to me. So it's the worst is the worst. I don't use the word friend loose no more.
Okay.
And I think that should be the best advice for everybody. Like, if you gotta take a test, whatever, you gotta do it because these people are different nowadays.
Malicious too.
One thing, shout out to my baby daddy because I don't shout him out often. But it's one thing, don't do that, Brittany. If there's one thing that taught me, everybody is not your friend, and they not. So shout out to you, Mel.
But why do they know stuff before?
Ain't it annoying? It's annoying.
Why
they really
always keep it out like, nah, that ain't your friend.
Yeah, and they be knowing because it's two people he noted that I would have never even. I'd have paid money that me and these people would still be cool to this day, and ain't bit more talked to in years.
That is insane.
Yeah. So.
Okay, we are now to the bullet of personal experiences with navigating friendships. That was very open-ended of us, Shawana, to just name that bullet point.
I was about to say, what's the parameters? Orion
navigating friendships. Like, where you going with this?
Because I'm about to say, she just kind of, somebody slept with her goddamn man.
Oh, you want me to tell the details?
No. So just different things that have made you like dead, cut some shit dead.
The most recent, and I've been friends with this specific person for like since I was like 13. When you go to college, go to high school, 14. Forever. And I can say that my disconnect from this specific person was because I would rather us disconnect than to watch somebody hurt or to continue to be in toxic situations where I'm sitting on the phone, listening to you crying, going through all type of changes. So I think that was my only disconnect, that it wasn't too toxic for me, or I understood my mental health in the situation where I was able to just say, let me back away because I have to take care of me before I worry about you. Yeah. And I've never did that before. Like any other situation, there's always something crazy or whatever. But this is, I'm going to end up depressed like you if I continue to be in this friendship and deal with your trauma or your stuff that you just think is the perfect situation for you. I can't do that.
Yeah. So I'll piggyback off of that because I think one of the most hurtful ones I've had to grieve and have acceptance wasn't on a wild shit either. It was just this person refused to like communicate with me. Like just straight up was like, I'm not gonna talk to you about this. And that was like one of the hardest ones for me to get over. And it won't even like on the level of just like somebody fucking my man or some shit like that. So yeah, that's a new thing for me now. Like somebody not willing to communicate.
Now I have a question. So do you feel like they didn't want to communicate because they were being stubborn, or do you think they didn't want to communicate because they knew the outcome of your relationship was going to be an expiration date?
I think this person just has never had to like hold themselves up to a level of accountability. And so for her, it was, it's over now because time went by, and I don't want to go back to it because I don't like how I felt during that time. I just want you to show up now and we be good. And it was like, no, because that was a thing. Like it was serious too. It wasn't just nothing that you shouldn't sweep anything under the rug. I don't care what anybody says. But you know, the caliber of what we had going on, this wasn't just we gonna get over it and get later. Like it's just like you blatantly choosing not to communicate. Like what am I fucking? You're not a ghost. So
right.
Like,
look at Brittany.
Marcus, you want to talk about us?
Come on, because me and Spence never like had like bad terms.
No.
No.
One time, but we figured it out.
Was high school?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like we've never had bad terms. We went without speaking, but it was not no bad blood. You know, I had things going on that I was dealing with, working through, learning myself. And Spence is very, she's a their friend. Like she gonna be there, she gonna ride for you. She gonna tell you what you need to hear. And I think a part of me like distancing myself was maybe I didn't want to hear it because I knew it was true, or it also might have been not dragging her through my things that I know I needed to work out too. You know what I'm saying? It was double-sided, but I would always like randomly probably like send her a DM like, hey, I miss you. Hey, you know what I'm saying? X, Y, and Z. But of course we had to address those things of when we were distant. You know, I think what was it, like 2 years ago we had that, we went out to eat, something like that.
Yeah, it was, matter of fact, it was literally 2 years ago because that memory just popped up for me. So it might have been 3 years ago, actually. Yeah.
And of course, like we had the discussion, like it's not going to be how it used to be, you know, and it hasn't gotten there, but I do see it possibly getting there, but it just takes, you know what I'm saying? It takes time, you know, and relearning each other. We've grown a lot, you know, so much has happened. So that aspect of it's different. It's interesting for me, you know.
And I will say that in my telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, I have also learned that I can be overbearing. So another thing with me and Marcus, we did not speak for 8 years. So we are talking critical lost time in each other's lives. To the point where we just recently had the conversation that we are still missing pieces, even though we have been talking for 3 years, we are still missing pieces of each other's 20s, because when you are growing and going through things, it's just no way you can learn all that you need to learn in a short amount of time. And the biggest thing for me was, I never forget, I was watching Red Table Talk, and it was an episode with Gabrielle Union, and her and Jada Pinkett were talking about they don't even know why the hell they won't speak no more. They just knew that something happened. I ain't talking to you, you ain't speaking to me, and that's just that. So like Marcus said, we never really had bad blood, but I felt bad because I just felt like maybe I wasn't sensitive to what he was going through. And I kind of felt like, why I did feel like I was distancing myself, because I just got to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do or say anymore. Like, this is something he gonna have to figure out on his own. I did feel like I could have been more sensitive to what he was experiencing and not so quick to just be like, okay, yeah, no, I can't. So I messaged him on Facebook and we FaceTime, and I apologized. And if you know me, I will apologize. If I am wrong, if I am really, really, really wrong, I have no problem apologizing. And I guess we can start transitioning to what it takes to mend a friendship. If I apologize to you, I'm not looking for you to apologize back to me. That is one thing that I want to make clear about me in any situation. If I have apologized to you, it's because I want to apologize. And so I made it my business, not knowing what Marcus's response was going to be to me, but I just wanted him to know that I was sorry. So yeah, here we are about 3 years later. There was never any love lost. And if anybody knows me and Marcus from high school, we were joined at the damn hip. So it has definitely been a process trying to just relearn each other, like he said, but it was definitely a situation where we didn't have a choice but to put distance between us. So that's why I tell people all the time, I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad thing in friendships. Like sometimes I feel like it's necessary and unavoidable. So yeah.
I agree. I almost fought somebody I'm still cool with. Like we were literally like arguing on Facebook. We was like going back and forth on Facebook and some more stuff. Like it got real disrespectful.
Oh.
Yeah. But now, but that's like one of my longest friendships I've had though. We like high school, freshman or sophomore year. We both was new Yeah. But we had to learn each other as adults. And we had that raw talk though, like we was young, you know, I was scared then, It's possible.
So going to the other side, besides obviously having a conversation, what do you feel like needs to happen to mend a friendship?
I think it needs to be discussed what the expectations are going to be moving forward. Like if you don't, and I think it needs to be completely honest, because I feel like if you're not honest with yourself and forthcoming about what you expect and what you want, you're gonna waste a lot of time, and I feel like it's gonna be resentment and stuff there. So I'm big on what does this look like once we move forward, and if that don't align, then it ain't no need to keep going.
Agreed. I will say, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I feel the same, like, because I have rekindled with people and I was not ready, and then the shit just didn't work again because I still felt some kind of way. So I do think if you're going to choose to move forward, I think that you need to be in a place where you actually have forgiven the person, because I've also been on the other side of thinking things were okay and they were not. Like people were still holding on to old things, and it definitely much so showed up later on. So I feel like if you're going to take that leap to say, okay, we had a conversation, we addressed it. If you want to move on, like literally move on. Like don't be reconnecting for the fact of saying, I miss them or I want them to be in my life. Like if you're not ready, then you're just not ready. Point blank, period. I think being able to accept that things won't necessarily be the same is huge. Because I think, it doesn't take years to change a person. It just takes experiences. So even though, y'all might not have been friends for a year, it's just no telling what happened in that time when y'all weren't speaking. So I think you have to be prepared that you may not be dealing with the same person you was dealing with a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. So I just think you just kind of got to be open to whatever you sign up for when you say, I am okay with us moving forward and starting over. So those would be my 2 biggest things.
I was going to piggyback off what Shawana said about setting expectations, because I know people who did become friends again, and then it's like they don't know what to do in that gray area. They don't know, am I supposed to call her, text her, or can we go out, or what do we talk about when we go? I don't know if y'all seen that episode of Insecure when Molly was trying to figure out what their friendship was, her and Issa's friendship was. And it was like, I think they went to like the school reunion, and both of them was like real iffy until they had that conversation. So I think it's the same thing, just as you said, setting that expectation, because I would hate to think, we about to go, on my end, I'm thinking we about to go out and just be how we were. And then you still kind of reserve, like, do I want to be around her? Whatever the case may be.
That shit is so manipulative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people who do it on purpose, like knowing damn well, sips wine. Like knowing damn well they not over it, but for the sake of they do miss you too, or y'all have been friends for a long time, but the whole time they not over it. It got you out here looking crazy. See, that kind of stuff makes me want to fight people. That's why.
I don't think you should be mending friendship just for the sake, like you said, to mend friendship just to have that friend back. It's counterproductive.
Right. And what expense?
You have to be realistic. Be realistic with yourself about what it is that you want out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, with those expectations, what it is that you want, and be also open to what they want. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, a lot of people fall out because it's one-sided. So are you really able to come to that table and really have those discussions and really be there for somebody?
Yeah.
Yes to the one-sided, because Lord, when you figure out you in one of them, you be like, damn, like how did shit even get like this?
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. Ooh.
I'll also say when Orion said just like the Insecure episode and then being awkward, Marcus, we had this conversation like a month ago. I feel like if you are genuinely trying to rebuild a friendship, it can be very awkward, because me and Marcus just had this conversation of like, what are we talking about now? Because we talking about, we stopped being friends. We was like 2021. So our conversations are different. And then just, me I know I can be worse. I'm like, if I want to talk, baby, you need to talk back to me. So sometimes like I be wanting to text and call him and I'd be like, Lord, he probably at work. Let me not work him to death. So we just had that conversation last month about how we know we need to talk more, but on both sides, it is very awkward because you are talking about two people who used to talk every day, all day long. Like the only reason we won't talking is because we was in class. And if we had class together, we was talking in there like I hadn't seen him. So when you go from that to not talking, going through life and being full-blown adults, it can be very awkward. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that, a lot of times it's not just going to be we talk, we hug, we made up, and we jumping back in. It is definitely a learning curve to rekindling friendships. Like,
it's
it's
riding a bike.
No, it's not like, okay, let's just see how we were. Yeah, it's just not that simple, which is okay. I would rather it be like this than to feel like I'm in a friendship that I was in 15 years ago. Like, to me, that would be a red flag. So I do feel like I'm in a mature version of our friendship. Just wanted to put it out there. So yeah.
Oh, Marcus and Orion, do you guys have any advice that you can give to our listeners about mending friendships, about letting go in friendships? Do you have anything, like any experience that you feel like could be like golden nuggets for those who may be listening to this and feel like, I'm really trying to figure out, where I fit in this friendship connection? Like, do I have healthy friendships? I need to start over. What advice do you guys have? Anybody can go first.
I think my advice would be to take a look at yourself first. See what it is that you want. If you're feeling like you're not getting what you want, then there is a reason, so address that, but dig deeper. Don't just let it be surface, don't let it be one little thing and then, it's a big, what I'm saying? Really be aware of what it is that it's going to take for you to really have that authentic friendship that you are looking for. And if you see a red flag, it's a red flag. Don't say that it's purple when it's really red. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to make excuses for people, because you are a person as well, and they want to do it for you, So just be mindful. What?
Amen. That was a hard lesson of 2021 too. Would not even like wouldn't budge.
Mm-hmm.
Disrespect. Anyway, go ahead.
I would say quality over quantity. I used to be a person that no matter how long we've been friends, I wanted you to still be around. Remember, I don't know if y'all seen those Facebook posts and it'd be like, tag your friend that you've been friends with since such and such. And I used to be like, oh, let me go ahead and tag this person because I know we've been cool. And now it's just like, okay. Because I was holding on a dead weight. Yeah. So sometimes I think we have to realize that there's reasons, seasons, and there's lifetime friends. And sometimes your season is up. Your reason for being around, either you learning from me or I'm learning from you. That we done learn the lesson. And if you meant to be in my life for a lifetime, then cool. But for me, I had to learn how to let go because I wanted everybody just to have a kumbaya moment. And it doesn't work like that. You sometimes grow out of people. And it's okay.
Yep.
And I didn't know that it was okay before.
That's a real thing. Outgrowing people. I don't. That's just like a new concept for me. Even though I clearly see it.
It's scary. Yeah. Because I had to give myself space, and I know I heard Marcus say he don't like meeting new people, and I was just like that. Like I don't want to meet you. Get away from me. I don't care about your favorite color. But I realized that you might be some substance to me, and I don't even know it because I'm holding on to people who know me from who I was, you know? So I had to learn to be like, okay, it's time for you to go. And because people don't respect who you're becoming. Especially like for me in this stage of my life, like I'm transitioning into a whole nother person that is scaring the hell out of me. But I appreciate it because I can see that some of the people that I had around were only holding me to a specific level. So it is good to meet new people because they respect you for where you are and they can help you with new information or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's okay to let go too, because I ain't trying to have all these people around. Because what if you get rich? I'm not helping you. Like,
thanks. I would say, one, to Marcus's point, like I said before, there have been times I have not been a good friend. So I do think there needs to be some self-reflection there. Are you in, repeated scenarios? Are you picking the same type of person over and over again? Mm-hmm. So look at how you operate, as well in friendships. What did Orion say that I was going to say something to? I don't know. I forgot it. I'll come back to it. I also think you have to know when stuff is shade or not, something is off. Like, you really do got to trust them gut feelings, because I feel like we know when stuff is off, but because we love people or because that's my friend, we let things go. Mm-hmm. And like Marcus said, with them red and them purple, them yellow flags, like, for real, trust your instincts. Like, you usually know if something is off. We just fail to pay attention to them, because another point that I'm about to make that I have trouble with accepting that things happen, or people didn't want to talk to me, or that people didn't want to forgive me. So one of my, faults in friendships, I just won't accept things for, how they are. I, in a past life, was a fixer. So I just feel like, anything can be worked out, talked out, discussed, and that's just not always the case. And that is okay too. Like, it's just some shit you can't save, and, it is what it is. But I would definitely say just self-awareness and just trusting yourself, because you do know, when stuff is off. And definitely being open to new friendships, because while I do find the comfort in people who have known me for a long time, I do like the easiness of people that I have met as an adult, or like a real adult. Because I feel like they know me current day. I like the aspect of people who know me from back in the day and just having memories and shared experiences. But I do like the flow of, all right, this is who I am now. I don't have to explain that to you. Like, who I am, and that's just what it is. And my last point would be, having difficult conversations is okay. That does not mean your friendship is over. You should just have conversations. Shawana and I, as friends, as co-hosts, as business partners, we have to have uncomfortable conversations. But because we have to communicate, here we are, still surviving and standing, no matter how bad situations or conversations have been. And I just feel like if people would just get to a point where they understand, like, if you have another person who's willing to communicate and listen to you, just say something. Like, it's no point in holding that in. It's no point in, like, your feelings don't exist. Just say something. Like, you're probably going to get a lot further versus you trying to just, act like shit didn't happen. So have the difficult conversations. You are going to survive them, I promise.
Promise. You're not going to explode.
You're not going to melt. Like, just say it.
You might sweat a little bit, but that's it. Like, that's all that's going to happen. Breathe, bitch, breathe. But anyway, I'm specifically talking to people who I don't even know if they're going to hear this episode, but
Woo!
my advice is in the letting go realm, because that is it's so hard for me to do. But I've been doing, y'all. If you knew the areas I was letting go in my life, y'all would be so proud. But if as long as you are holding yourself accountable, like when you are interacting with people, when you have miscommunications, if there's offenses that go forth and you check yourself, like you are somebody who's, like Brittany said, I might think I'm right, but if I know I'm wrong, I don't have a problem apologizing. If you're a person who can come back to that type, like that grounding place, when you're dealing with people in your life and you, again, holding yourself accountable and they can't meet you halfway, it is okay to walk away. No matter how long you have known them, no matter how you are connected to them, family. And when the disrespect is loud and clear, accept it for what it is. Like Brittany said, know when stuff is shade. Like, it's really like there is no harm in walking away. And always know that if you are anything like me, you got to be pushed to the limit to like really, really close the door. Well, not so much now, but before 30. Know that this, when you let go, it's not like you close on the door, but another one is open. Like when something ends, there's another beautiful beginning. I promise you. I have lived it, and I mean, I'm only 31, but you don't have to be fearful of like holding on, thinking that if you let go, you won't have anything. No, like release that thinking from your being, because it's far from the truth. And like Brittany said, meeting new people and Orion as well, it's refreshing, because like you're who you are now, and that's who they see you for. They don't even know that past stuff. So yeah, be open.
I got a question.
Have
you ever had like where your new friends meet your old friends and you see like the difference, like, and be like, wait a minute, I'm not as ratchet as I was when I was hanging with you. I'm trying to be a little bit more professional, and I'm going through that with new friends, and I'm like, dang, y'all meshing, and it's a little ghetto, like. So, like, so how have y'all ever had that experience?
Brittany is the queen of this. Take it, because you know how to compartmentalize people.
I do. I really, really, really do. Have I always been successful? Absolutely not. But I would not say that it was at the fault of my new friends. I would say that I felt like my old friends felt a kind of way. I am notorious for, this is just me. It could be because I'm standoffish. I don't care to meet other people's friends. Like, you're my friend, my lioness self. You are my friend. I want to hang with you on our time. You are my friend. So I feel like you gotta kind of be okay when either they don't mesh or you feel like it's about to be some shit. Because, like I said, I will attempt it. And if I get any kind of vibes, that is usually my first and last attempt. I will not keep pushing that to see, let's give them a second try to see if they're going to get along better the second time. Usually it's not. There's usually more shade thrown, and there's usually more, yeah, see, I knew ain't like that bitch. Like, no, we're not doing that. So I would say, yeah, I'm notorious for, I hang with my people separately. And the ones that I can bring together, I will bring them together. I think it's okay for your friends to not get along, because I know for me personally, I can be very ratchet. I'm also a very educated person. I can also be very bougie. I have a friend for all situations and stories. Like, I have friends that will fight. There two up here. I got a friend that, she knows designer lines when they don't have no labels on them. I know that's my, my travel person. We get in the most expensive hotel. That's my bougie friend. I have a married friend who I feel like is the only person that understands married life, because I don't have many married friends. I have a friend for everything, and I think that's okay. Do I feel the need to bring them together? Absolutely not. Have all my friends met? For the most part. But like I said, I have had negative experiences, and I have kept those people out of the same room anytime that I could, because they don't need to be friends. Just like I don't need to meet all my friends' friends, because they're their other friends. They're not me. So, yeah, I just feel like, if you feel like they vibe, it is fun to be with all your friends at the same time. But if not, then
baby.
I was gonna say, that's why birthdays be so lit though. I think that's why I enjoy Brittany's birthdays, because that's like the one time, but for the most part, everybody be together. It is just pure comedy. Oh my God.
absolute fun. And I also feel like the older you get, the less possessive you get. Because I feel like me and Marcus really had an issue with us having other friends when we were younger. I just kind of felt like, who is this and why are they? Can you please tell me? Yeah, can you tell them to go away? Because why are they here?
Your birthday.
So I feel like the older
you're Leo too.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I am. I feel like, you know, you get comfortable with the fact that people go to other people for other things. So yeah, it's just, if they mesh, they mesh. They don't, then they don't.
No, don't force
it.
Ryan,
you're a Virgo?
Yes, my best friend is a Leo. So exactly is exactly how my best friend is. Like when I bring new people around. Now she's not ratchet. She's very reserved, but she's very observant. And I'm into this, especially with me doing hair now. I have to learn how to separate the two because people will get in my chair and think that we friends. And oh, you're going out, blah, blah, blah. And in the beginning, I can't lie, I would start going out with people and I would invite her and she'd be like, yeah, that's your friend. She ain't gonna be around long. And when she would say, I'm like, no, like, no, I understand. And she
why
like,
is that so Leo of us though? Because
the only difference between me and your friend Orion, I just don't say this shit out loud no more. I used to tell people, Marcus will tell you, I used to be like, yeah, no, you might as well call that quits because it's not going to work.
But wait, she'll wait until something happens.
That's what I do now. I wait now until something happens. I usually will wait till the second or third time too, just to be sure. But I usually know immediately whether they're going to be around or what their intentions are. I just don't say anything. I just have to let it play out because I don't want anybody to make a decision based off something I said. But I will definitely be like, yes. So can we go back to last year when you met them? Because I'm going to bring you up to speed of why I felt like they were never your fucking friend.
Yeah. I will, if I get an inclination, I always have to say something. So I'll say it once. I will not mention it again until like the situation happens like again. That's like how I do it. Like I'll put it out there and just be like, but you know better than me, blah, blah, blah. And then I just let it play out. And I'll just kind of listen before I feel led to be like, okay, this is the time I'm gonna be like, okay, remember when we had that talk the first time? Okay, so yes. Because another shout out to my baby daddy. When I do go around him, I'll be like, hey man, you know, I ain't trying to be in your business or your life, but since you're telling me that nigga is not your friend, and I need to know he is not. And he be listening too. He be trying to, but I'm telling you, dog, amen. If that little inkling get in the back of my ear, that is a Leo thing. Like, hey, nah.
Yeah. Be quick to and then she won't be reserved to tell me about my old friends too. Like she'd be like, yeah, I know y'all been friends for a minute, but why she around? Like she'll just straight tell me, and I'm learning things now, you know. I'm learning.
Keep a Leo on you. If you're smart, you keep a Leo on your side. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to be guests and, you know, having this fun but difficult conversation with us. Shawana, do you want to, you know, do our exit and let the guests say what they need to say?
Yeah, so again, guys, we want to thank y'all for rocking it with us on this episode of Breaking Up to Make Up the Friendship Edition. Marcus and Orion, this was like so dope. The flow was amazing. If you guys can take this time, I don't know if y'all have any like entrepreneur things you may be working on, or maybe it's just a hobby you love, or maybe you just want to express yourself. If there's anything that you want to plug as far as business, or just you want to rep something, this is the time. Plug yourself, please.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. And if y'all guys need some insurance, you know, your house, your auto, anything, hit me up. I'm your man.
This is fun. This was a lot of fun. It was organic, so I really appreciate y'all for that. I actually have a business. It's called PS Slade. My Instagram is p.s.slade. I am a master wig artist. I sell units. I make them on a sewing machine. Yeah. If you need me. Oh, and I'm a traveling stylist now.
Come on now.
So if you need me, you know, I can fly to you. I can get flued out, whatever.
Congratulations. So, and I'm gonna link where Orion can be found, and if you got an insurance lead, bro, you know, so I can put that down there. So you guys can hook up with them later. Make sure that you follow us on everything Brown Skin Blueprint. Stream us, subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, Brittany, you have anything else?
I don't. Everything Shawana said, yeah.
So y'all, we will kick it with you next time.
All right, guys. Peace.
Bye.